Hello everyone, it's Peter here, Piotr Fissner. Guys, we've got the same Denon as we had last year, and this Denon has the same problem, no power. In the previous episode where I was able to fix it, we found that the board, this board here, had shorted capacitors, okay? After removing, these were the coupling capacitors. After removing them, everything went back to normal and the device was brought back to life. Now this model on the other hand, has plus 5 volts present, so that means it's no short. I've checked. The capacitors are of course not shorted, so I need to find during the weekend time, because the customer who sent it, they've mailed it in to us, and they thought we will do the same repair as previously they hoped for. Yes, so unfortunately that's not the case, and I thought I will do this repair on YouTube so that we can see that second Denon with the same fault and the same repair. Whereas no, it's not that easy. I've disconnected sections as well. Nothing brought back the standby LED, nothing. So now we've got something which I've created a diagram of, and I will pause and I will show you the diagram. Okay, so as we can see on the diagram, we've got input at the mains, yes, and then that input is the first step, yes, so here the power comes in from the socket, and then there is a filtration section in the power supply, and then it's created standby, which we know we've got 5 volts, okay? Then the next step, as we know from general electronics repairs or audio equipment, inverters and so on, yes, like all of this, we know that the standby is going to a controller or processor, yes, that depends what the device is. Might be programmable, and once power button or remote will send signal, or we just start, in a different way, that's just general rule of thumb, yes, the most of the devices are like that, or remote will send signal, the processor or controller will know that has to send a signal to the main power on section, and we should hear relay if successful, okay? So why I've created 3B and 3A is, if standby voltage is not present, we have to follow the route from the mains to the power button, and we should disconnect all sections to test each for shorts first and to observe if the device will show us a standby once they are removed. There is one more thing here. We need to do the visual inspection as well, okay? I didn't mention all the health and safety stuff as well. It's just diagram to show the thought process of how to diagnose it. Yes, now 4A, if any power rails are shorted, creating main voltages, but only if standby will send a signal and relay will pass power next. Now 4A, yes, if any power rails are shorted or missing voltages, the system will not power on or will blow the fuses if that the high side primary fault, because before the transformer, before the go into the after transformer section, that we call high side or primary side, or just more dangerous side, yes, but here no standby voltage most of the time is produced, yes, in those cases, at least from my experience. That's why I wrote it this way. And 5, if there's still a fault, this is most likely digital or data section or amp section, depending on the device. So that's how I see the process, okay? And maybe other people have different experiences, but that's how I follow the routes, and that's why we see how bold this one is, how bulky, and how much time it requires. It will take me about half an hour to properly dismantle it, and then I need to check each section. After each section, I even remove the Wi-Fi module or Wi-Fi Bluetooth module, I don't know which type it is. And then I removed the connectors yesterday and each section of amps. So this should at least give a standby voltage. So we don't know if there is a problem with power coming to the controller processor or from it to the standby. Okay, so that's what I will need to look for. But in ideal situation, we will have it fixable. In not ideal situation, well, there can be some programmable processor, and that will be a pickle, because then even if we could make it, you know, like switch on the relay, it won't power on the device, so it doesn't matter. You need to provide certain sections with certain voltages and certain signals in order to turn on this device. So if we can even supply voltages and we won't provide the signals, you won't power on everything. And if that processor, not controller, is damaged and you need to program it and you don't have firmware, then you're in a pickle. And then you need to replace whole board. Okay, if the board is over 100 pounds and we can get it, that will be the cost for the customer, because we can't do anything. Yes, I can diagnose where the problem is underlying, but without firmware we can't do anything. The only thing what we could do is, when we've got the board, the known good working board, then we can take the program ideally onto our SFOT4 programmer, program the chip, buy a new empty chip, program it, and then fix this board. And in that case, we've got now second good board. So if any of the customers are coming with the same exactly problem, we then have fix from now on. But the question is, can we do it? Yes, because sometimes you can have certain way of programming the chip and you can't extract the data. So I'd rather say do not do it, because that's a risk for us, and time and money and everything. And if something will go wrong, we need to buy another board. So the risk is not that worth. If we will have a lot of branches, and well, because we already have one and now we're opening second one. So when we will have a lot of branches as a franchise in the whole country, let's say, or even part of the country, then we will be able to make such risks. Yes, and then it will be paid by whole nation or whole section of the country. So in that case, it will be viable. But for now, we're doing it the cheapest way, because customer won't be happy to spend more. Thank you guys for watching, and see you in the next video. If I'll do, of course, a repair on this one, I will create more updates. What have I found and what have I done? Thank you. Bye bye.